Okay, so I am going to be doing a wet specimen today. This is actually my first time. Okay, done a lot of research. I usually ship my wet specimens off to somebody else. This is a baby bunny that a friend had that it ended up passing away. So they gave me one of the baby bunnies. I have a lot of wet specimens to do. I'm not going to always show all of them, but I figured I would come on and show you how we prepare a wet specimen. So, especially where I'm just learning, we had to buy the 10% neutral buffered formalin. Okay, these are kind of all the supplies you're going to need. Obviously a jar for your specimen to go into. For this type of stuff, like when I'm selling the specimens, it's different. They'll be in nicer jars, but as I am actually just preparing them, I will kind of use jars like this, right? No use in messing up really good jars while you're preparing them. So something about this size is going to have to actually soak in the formalin for about 2 months. So it's a long process. The only big process with wet specimens is the time frame that it takes. And yes, you hear some of my barn animals. I'm outside on my porch in a ventilated area, right? Formalin is very strong, cancer-causing substance. You really don't want to inhale it. So we're going through kind of what we need. I have some syringes. I'm only going to need one for this specimen, but I am doing multiple specimens tonight. But this is the only one I'm going to show. I have specimens of fetus, puppy fetuses, obviously some not developed, some tiny little baby ones, some, I have a lot of fetuses that I do, but I'm only going to show the bunny. I have another baby potbelly pig. I think it was only like a day old potbelly pig that I'll show a different day as well. As I'm starting my own journey, finally doing my own wet specimens, I have so many wet specimens. I'm weird. I like this stuff. Listen, I would rather, instead of these things go in the trash, use them for art, right? Most places are just going to throw this stuff out. Instead, I take it and I like to use this stuff for art. Normally, I ship it off to somebody else to do, but now I'm starting to do it on my own. So, obviously, gloves, right? You're going to need gloves. So we are going to put our gloves on here. What I'm going to do, and this video is not going to be edited or anything. I'm not good with all this stuff right now. I'll get better as I do videos. As I do more videos. Yeah, chickens, I hear you talking. So we're going to get our gloves on. Obviously, I'm still going to wear my respirator, okay? You don't necessarily have to if you're in a well-ventilated area like I am. I'm outside on my porch right now. It is ventilated, but I'm still going to go ahead and wear my respirator. I'm more cautious than anything, right? So obviously you are going to need needles, your jar. If somebody wanted to, you could wear some safety goggles. I'm not going to wear safety goggles. I'm pretty far away from this right now while I'm recording, so I'm not too close. All right, so we are going to go ahead. I'm going to put on my respirator. Everybody has their own way of doing stuff. I might sound weird once I have this on. Gonna sound a little bit odd, yeah? Okay, sorry about that. But again, in order to do this, I want to wear a respirator. I don't want to take any chances. Very sorry that I sound weird. Well, I'm going to take it off real quick before I do this. So I'm going to explain the process a little bit so I don't have to talk too much while I'm doing the process. When you're doing a wet specimen, you have to inject. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Like I said, I'm not going to edit this, so my light might go off. Let me see if I can stop it from. I am not doing. Oh, let's see. Okay. Sorry. Alright, I do not know if I stopped it or not. Hopefully it will stay on. Sorry about that, guys. My porch light. I can't really see it right now, and I'm trying to focus on this. So I'm not going to edit this video like I said. So as you're doing this, you have to inject every part of the rabbit, okay? Your biggest thing is to get all the organs, okay? With the formalin, you're injecting everywhere inside of the rabbit. You're going up crevices. You're going into the joints, the legs. You've got to go inside the ear. You've got to go inside the nose, the mouth, the eyes. You're injecting the formalin everywhere. And as you see, when an animal has passed away, and this was, you know, out with its mother or whatever, this is a baby that was born, was out with his mother and probably got squished a little bit. But as you're injecting the formalin, it will end up puffing up a little bit, right? It's kind of like blowing up a balloon when you're doing it, okay? So you're going to kind of blow up balloon. All specimens are frozen until you're ready to use them. So all specimens you have to freeze until you're ready to do it, unless you're doing it right away. And then you want to defrost it inside the refrigerator. And right as it's done defrosting is when you want to use it. I also, before I inject, I like to kind of, you can use distilled water to wash down your specimens, to clean them. And I also like to make sure I dry them off as well, right? So I dry them off first. So what we're going to do is inject every crevice of this rabbit. Okay, I am going to put on my respirator in a second. I hate wearing gloves. I am not the type of person to wear gloves at all, okay? I will touch anything and everything without gloves. I don't wear gloves. I don't like gloves. I feel I can't maneuver right. I can't, but for this, again, formalin is so strong. It's a powerful substance. I am not gonna risk anything. Obviously, you have to really use the gloves in order to do something like this, okay? All right, so what I'm gonna do, again, I'm kind of new at this myself. All right, I'm putting on my respirator though, guys. If I'm a little bit odd sounding, I'm super sorry. It's so weird when you breathe in this respirator. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pour some formalin in here, because the specimen's going to go in here after anyways, okay? But this is going to be where I go in and grab some formalin out to inject the specimen, okay? So we're going to suck up some formalin here. Okay, the biggest thing that I learned about, you don't want any air bubbles, okay? No air bubbles. Get them out. Okay? Get your air bubbles out. There shouldn't be any air bubbles at all inside of this. You don't want air bubbles. That brings in bacteria, okay? So like I said, you're just going in every crevice of this and injecting some formalin. It's going to come out. It's normal for it to leak out everywhere. You just want to get it in, and you are going to have it leak out. Okay, it's very normal. You want to go in every crevice. I would go in every crevice until it fills up. That's taking a lot. Holy cow. All right, so this one's eyes are not open, so I'm gonna have to get it in there a little bit. Some people will go ahead and open the eyes. like if that's something they want to do. I know it's kind of disgusting to watch. That's why we're doing it kind of far away. Okay, just explaining the process. Obviously, this rabbit's ears are also not developed, so they don't really have a hole. But you want to go in the ears because that is going to get the brain of the animal. So you need to go in that hole. Okay, like I said, it is gonna fluff up a little bit. It's kind of like blowing up the balloon. Okay. We're gonna have to get out all the air. I don't see it as an air bubble. Okay. Get out all the air. It's kind of a crazy process doing all this, but you have to do it. If you want to preserve your specimen, you've got to do it. So we're going to go in every crevice, like I said. You're also going to inject in all cavities. So you're going to have to get the chest cavity, the intestinal cavity. You got to get all of it. The abdominal cavity. Now, when I was watching other people do this, theirs were blowing up. It seems like this thing's taken a lot of the formalin. It's kind of blowing up a little bit, like a balloon. That's what you want. So again, you're going to have to go to every extremity as well, guys. So every extremity, you're putting this in, and that's blowing up a little bit. Okay? It's all normal. It will fluff up a little bit. So get all extremities. That looks like I'm just in the skin a little bit. Go a little bit deeper. Okay. And as you're doing this, once it goes into the wet specimen, once it goes into the jar, there will be fluid exchange. Okay, so we're going to go into every extremity, like I said. Now, when you're doing this, you also want to make sure that you're also putting your animal in the position that you want it in the jar. Okay, once you put it in the jar and you do this, it's going to get hard. Okay, the formalin will make it hard, so you're not going to be able to adjust the position once it's in there. Okay, so once you're done doing most of the extremities, you want to go along, again, anywhere there's bone, you just want to go along the backbone, start injecting along the backbone. If you have something that has a long tail, you're going to want to get the long tail. This has a tiny little tail, but we're going to inject it a little bit. And like I said, you're supposed to go up every little crevice. This is a tiny little animal. You know, a baby rabbit doesn't really have the right openings. So you're going to have to try to get in there the best you can with every opening that it's supposed to have. Inject it. So basically, we are basically done. I'm going to go ahead and try to get the skin of the ears a little bit. We're basically done. This was not a very hard specimen. Some are harder than others. We're going to try to get in this mouth a little bit more. All right. So that's basically it. So let me try to get inside the... Again, this is my first time, so I want to make sure that I do it right. So we're going to go ahead back into the chest cavity. Blow it up a little bit more, back into the abdominal cavity. Okay. Now, some people will use, again, it is going to fluff up. It is going to fluff up like a little balloon. Okay. That's what you want. Once it's in here and you do the fluid exchange, let me get my light back on. Sorry, guys. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. So, what we're going to go ahead and do, now that we have the specimen, we're going to fill this up. Now you're going to want to put this in whatever position you want. Now I'm going to try to get something. They have different, once it's ready, they have different jars and different specimen things that you can buy. I'm probably going to get something that is going to keep this rabbit. Like I could curl it up a little bit. I don't really know how I want to do it. We could put it like that. Right, so you're going to really want to get it in the jar how you're going to want it. Because once it's in the jar, that's it. You're not going to be able to fix it. Okay? Now, some specimens will float. Okay? Some specimens will float. If they're floating, that means that you added too much air. Okay? That means you have too much air in it if they float. That means you injected air. Your specimen should not float. Okay, if they're floating, then you have air. And I think that's good. I mean, it's going to harden. Now, some people will use string. Some people use string to hold their specimens how they want them. That's good. That's cute. That's cute with its legs. Sorry, guys. Some people do. I think that's a cute position. Yeah. So yeah, some people do use string or other things to keep it in a position they want. That's fine for me. So now this is going to sit for about 2 months. That is what makes this so hard, okay? It's not really hard to do a wet specimen. All right, so what you want to do every few days is go over and shake your jar, okay? Every few days you want to do this to help the fluid exchange, okay? You want to kind of just shake it up a little bit. If you need to go in there and fix your specimen, but it's going to harden. So this specimen will harden. As long as I don't touch it however I want it, it will harden that way. So I kind of want it in a sitting position. Some people will put like a rock or a piece of wood or something in here to keep it in the position they want. But once after a few days, it will harden just like it is. So when you go in to shake it, it won't move. It won't switch positions, right? It's most critical in the first like 48 hours to keep it. So obviously all of your stuff, right? There's a little bit extra here. You always have to make sure that you are getting rid of your formalin in the proper way, okay? You can't just put formalin down the drain. What I'm going to do is dig a hole. When I'm dumping out any type of fluid, I'm going to go ahead and dig a hole a couple feet down and pour my formalin in. You know, something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do. So you just can't put it down the drain, okay? It's a big substance. You have to have a glass jar as well, guys. You cannot have a jar that is not. I'm burning. My eyes are burning a little bit. I probably should have wore some safety goggles. I don't know why they're burning a little bit. I haven't touched my face or anything. So this stuff is pretty strong. This is a pretty strong chemical if it's burning my eyes a little bit doing this. I haven't yet seen anybody wear safety goggles, but you absolutely could. I may next time because I'm definitely getting a little bit of a burn in my eye. So obviously, take care of your syringes. Always put the top on before you throw it in the trash. Make sure you dispose of all this stuff the right way. Again, don't just dump formalin down your drain. You can't do that. And it has to be glass because formalin will eat away at plastic, okay? Formalin eats away at plastic. Have a glass jar when you're doing this. So like I said, this will be about 2 months that this has to soak. And once you're done, you can either reuse your formalin if it's not too bad, or dump it out. I'm probably going to dump it out depending. You could also put another specimen in here if you wanted to. Make sure it's done at about the same time. So just to save room and save formalin, save your glass jars, you can double up on wet specimens in the same jar for this process. Now, once this process is done, after the 2 months, again, always make sure they're about the same size if you're doing something, because something smaller than this might only take a month, okay? Something smaller might only take a month. Something bigger could take a couple more months. My baby potbelly pig that a friend gave me, that's huge compared to this. That's probably going to be about 5 months in formalin, right? That's probably going to take me about 5 months in formalin. So that's where the process takes a long time. It's not a huge process to do this, but you always want to stay safe. I am going to recommend, for doing this my first time, I am going to recommend definitely some safety goggles. I'm outside right now. I'm outside. There might not be too much of a breeze. I've got my respirator on, but my eyes are definitely burning a little bit. So maybe I'm just sensitive to it. I don't know. But for me, I am going to wear my safety goggles for next time. Tonight, I am doing a couple more specimens, but I wanted to put this out, show you guys the process. So I am going to start having specimens. I've got puppies. I've got kittens. I've got multiple different species from people all over. A couple of the vets around have given me uteruses or whatever. You know, I have different size animals. I have fetuses that are this big, and almost full grown fetuses, right? So I've got different stages of each animal as well. I almost got baby beavers. I don't know. I'm waiting. They froze that beaver that I found the other day, and I want them to cut open the belly. It almost looked like it was pregnant. I think it's definitely a female, and it looks pregnant. Can you imagine if there's baby beaver fetuses in there? Oh my God, I'm gonna freak out. Oh Lord have mercy. That's gonna be an amazing. So obviously I have connections, I have farms, I have multiple people that I know all around me that deal with animals, and I'm getting them to give me uteruses, give me animals that, that might die at their home or something, like little ones. I don't want anything too big, of course. Sometimes you have baby goats that abort, even cows or horses that abort. Sometimes the fetuses can be small. So I'm working with a lot of vets and a lot of people in the area that are just giving me their fetuses, or like this one died. The pig that I have in there also died. All natural causes. All other than sometimes like a dog will go in and it will get spayed and they didn't know it was pregnant, and the owner will be like, hey, abort those babies. The vets are obviously asking the owner straight out, hey, I have somebody that wants the uterus, can I give it to them? And they'll say yes or no. So this is This is a process, but I love doing this type of stuff. I'm a big wet specimen fan. I have some weird oddities inside my house already. I usually buy wet specimens, and now I'm going to start making my own wet specimens. So just wanted to show you all the process. But with that, I'm getting off. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, we will do a couple more videos every so often of this stuff. I don't really want to do a puppy on stream. Oh, sorry. Hold on, guys. Ugh. Just out of respect for the people that have allowed me to take the uteruses of their dogs or whatever, or their cats, I might do ones that are tiny, but a lot of people have feelings about, oh, it's a kitten, it's a puppy. I don't want that stigma on here, so I'm going to make sure that we're really only doing fetuses or something like this, something like, the potbelly pig. I do have some fetuses that are really small, and what I probably won't say is what type of animal that is, but show you how we preserve that, right? It's the same process, but you're going to have ones that are like tiny, right? Fetuses that are hardly developed, but yet you can tell that they're something, right? So with that, anytime I get specimens that are not puppies or kittens, I will post videos of them. Again, it's just a stigma, right? There may be people that don't want to see a puppy or kitten, but is fine with a rabbit. But with that, guys, I am off. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for watching. And you can leave your comments, questions, whatever you need at the bottom. Love you guys.